Hello, Messy Faye here, and today we're going to make this brilliant thing, an Excuse-O-Matic, because today we are thinking about a story that Jesus told of a posh banquet and lots of people who were invited but didn't come because they had got silly excuses. So this one says, I'm very sorry, but I cannot, and here we'd say, come to your banquet, because my teacher wants me to polish a banana sandwich. Or, I'm very sorry I cannot come because a tiny squirrel made me eat out of Mongolia. Or perhaps, I'm very sorry but I cannot come because my mum woke me up far too early and made me sing a song about a bucket full of frogs. What a lot of silly excuses. So here is how to make your very own Excuse-O-Matic. So you will need some of these templates here. We've got some printouts. The first one has got the front cover on, and then the second one has this big wheel, and the third page has the medium-sized wheel and the smaller wheel, and all the instructions are on here as well. Okay, so it's all here. So very first thing you're going to need to do is grab a pair of scissors, and we're going to cut out the circles. So you've got that. Hopefully you can print them either on paper or you can print them on card. Either is fine. And when we're cutting them out, we can, of course, grown-ups or older children only for the scissors, and everybody else can start colouring them because we want to make them look nice and jazzy. I would recommend highlighters. That's what I've used for mine, because that then doesn't cover up all the printing. And I've decorated the front of mine with a load of X's for excuse. Little joke in there. And once you've decorated the front one, you can also decorate the inner wheels as well with different colours. I've used orange and pink, and then I've used green and yellow for another one on there. You can decorate them however you like. So that's my big one. We've cut out the circle. We then need to cut away the part that says cut this part away. And that's where your excuses are going to come out. Now, because you can use this for all kinds of different excuses. Jesus told the story about the people, lots of them actually, who wouldn't come to the posh party. But of course you could use this for all kinds of things. This could be used as a reason why, I can't tidy my room because, or I can't eat those Brussels sprouts because. I do realise that quite a lot of people like Brussels sprouts. And it's not just for kids, grown-ups. Have you thought of all the ways you can say, I'm terribly sorry, but I couldn't produce that report because, and then you've got a nice excuse. This will actually give you over 500 different excuses, which is that's got to be reasons for doing almost everything. Now, you may have noticed that as I'm cutting out this ring, that some of these spaces around the edge are blank. That's because you can fill in some of your own. You can make up your own different parts. And again, it tells you on the instructions what to do. So this says each excuse has a start, a middle, and an end. And the ends go on here. So this has, for example, the moon, a bowl of custard, a pair of wellies. Those are the ends. And then we write the middles of the excuses. That'll go on this middle-sized one, and the starts go on the very small one. So the start of each excuse has to be a person. I use the term person very loosely. I've got things like the Queen, who's definitely a person, but I've also got a tiny squirrel as one of mine. It's not sort of like a person, so you can put anything you like for the start of the excuse. It has to be somebody who can do things, so a kind of like a person. It could be a robot. I think I've got a space alien for one of mine, and you can write your own ones in these spare spaces here. So I've got, like, my teacher, a tiny squirrel, my mum. So we're going to write those in the first sections, and I'll do a couple of those in a minute. And then in the middle section, there goes the thing that happens. If you think back to your words, it's a verb, a doing word. So it's got to be something that happens to you. And then in the third part on the outside, that's where the ending goes. Right, I've done all my cutting out. So now I'm going to do some writing on here. So let me have a think. What shall I have? So the startings, we've got my mum, tiny squirrel, a teacher, a pirate, the Queen, and a giant slug. I shall also have, let me think, on here, I will have a space alien, and on this one I think I'll put a robot. Or you could have things like Superman or things like that. And then for the second one we've got things that happen. So won't let me have, told me to steal, took me on holiday to. What shall I have on here? Let me think. Told me to knit something. I've got to knit something. And this one over here, what shall I have on here? We should have made me sing about, oops, missed off the U there, naughty me. And the last one here, what should we have here? We sing about 5 kippers. So the last one is a thing. I've got like a banana sandwich, Outer Mongolia, which is a country, bucket full of frogs. I think I'll have Superman in here, I think. Superman. Lovely. Okay, so that's all my writing done. And now some colouring. I've got some highlighters. I think those make quite nice colouring because they don't cover things up. And I'm only going to colour in a few of these, I think. You can do more of them later on if you want. So I'm just going to colour in here. You can draw patterns on them, of course, if you want to. Patterns always look nice. I'm just colouring mine in with blocks of colour. I'll just do a few of them. There we go. So this is hopefully going to give you a little bit of time to do this just while I'm talking. You can make all kinds of really funny things to do on this. A couple there. I'll do a couple of these ones. You have to work out what you think is your favourite excuse. There we go. Lovely. Oh, I think the Queen can have some pink. I think that would be nice, wouldn't it? There's the Queen, give her some pink. And my teacher. Teachers get up to all kinds of dreadful things on this excuse maker here. Robot and a bit of a robot in the orange, I think. There. I might put a bit of yellow in. I haven't got any yellow yet, have I? So, once we've done all these, we then need to join them together. Now, there's a whole load of different ways you can join them together, depending on what you've got. You can use a split pin fastener. Those are little brass things with the 2 legs that fold out. But if you haven't got a split pin fastener, which I haven't, there are lots of other ways of joining them. So you can either use a split pin fastener, or you can use a paper clip, or you can use a drawing pin and something to stab it into, or you can just use a piece of yarn or a pencil. So you can use it. There's a paper clip. I'll show you how to do that. There's a piece of yarn. I'll show you how to do that. Or you can just use a pencil. So any of those will do. So I've coloured in all these, cut out my 4 circles, and coloured some of them in. We've written on our extra bits with using a pen, and now we've got to join them together. So the first thing we're going to do is make some holes in the middle, and the easiest way to do that is using a pencil. we're just going to stab a tiny little hole in the middle. Okay, there we go. Don't use a very sharp pencil. You stab yourself. You can stab it through into the carpet like that if you like. Little hole in the middle of each one, and you can colour in the front, of course, as well. Okay, there. Okay, and then the first way to join them is like this. This is using a drawing pin into a cork mat, and you simply stack them up and then just push the drawing pin through the hole in the middle. Okay, and then they will all turn round like that. Okay, so the order in which you stack them up is big one on the bottom, then the middle one on top of that, then the small one on top of that, and then the front on top of that. Okay, now if you haven't got a drawing pin or you don't want to use that, you can use a paper clip as well. To use the paper clip, we're just going to open it out slightly, just a little bit there, and then thread that through all of the holes. It's easiest to do it one at a time, so I'm going to thread it through the front, and then I'm going to thread the small one behind that, and then the medium one behind that, and then the big one behind that. Lovely, and then just kind of push it through a bit further till it goes nice and flat, and there you go. Yeah, and you can then turn that round, get all your different excuses. I'm terribly sorry I cannot come because the Queen told me to knit the moon. Very silly. Now, if you haven't got a paper clip, other ways you can do it are to use a piece of yarn, and for this we're just going to, again with the little hole there, we're going to use the pencil to push the yarn through all of the holes. And just push it through until it comes out the other side. There it is, it's come out the other side. And then we're just going to tie this yarn in a knot. And this also makes a very handy way to hang it up. So we tie that in a little knot up there. There we go. And then you can hang that up near wherever it is you need to find excuses. So there we can twizzle it around like that. The other way to do it, of course, if you don't want to do that, is to use the pencil. Now for this we're going to need to make the holes a lot bigger. So we have them all lined up. And we're going to take the pencil and just push it through, push it through, push it through until it goes all the way through. Shoop, shoop, there it is. It's come out the other side now. Okay, and now we've got a nice little spinner again. So you can, that's 4 different ways of making it all spin around. So here you go with your fabulous, courtesy of Wallace and Gromit with their Wash-O-Matic. This is the Excuse-O-Matic. Ways that the silly people in Jesus' story wouldn't come to his feast, but we can use it for all other kinds of things as well. I'm very sorry, but I cannot come to your banquet because a space monster with green legs and 3 eyes won't let me have the most expensive diamond bracelet in the whole world. Or perhaps, I'm terribly sorry, I cannot come to your feast because the Queen took me on holiday to a bowl of custard. That's great fun. Have fun with your craft. Bye!